Hi, welcome back. I'm so glad you decided to dance with me today. It's another spring day. It is a little bit overcast, but the sun's peeking through and the temperatures are more seasonal than they were last week when we had snow. So I'm glad of that. So welcome. We are continuing with our Dancing Through the Decades series into the 1950s now. And I had a lot of fun putting this together with some of your requests for Elvis music and Chuck Berry music, and then I've got a lot of other fun little, just a lot of cool music that we're going to be doing through today. We did have some requests for Elvis and Chuck Berry, as I said, and I did spend some time viewing Chuck Berry and Elvis performances and looking at their moves. So we're going to be doing some Elvis moves and some Chuck Berry moves as we dance to their music. So that'll be really fun. Okay, just as in last week's video and all the previous weeks, everything will be done either seated or standing at the bar using the chair as our bar. And if you have difficulty getting up to stand, everything can be done in seated. I do encourage people to do as much as they can in standing at the bar when we are doing our bar exercises, but that is an option to remain seated. As far as the chair goes, these are all of our safety messages that we really need to share with you every time. We do want to use a stable, straight-backed chair that's easy for you to get in and out of. Some people may find it easier to use a chair with small arm rests to get in and out. If you don't need that, it does give you a little bit more freedom of movement to not have the arm rests. If you're going to be using two chairs to either support your back or to help you with your balance, make sure that the backs of both chairs are the same height so that you're not lopsided when you're standing. And make sure that you have plenty of room around you to move. I know that's kind of tricky because some of us are doing this in very tight, confined spaces. I don't have a ton of space myself, but I have enough, at least for myself, to move around in. You're going to need a full wingspan for a lot of our dances, and I have really long arms, so I need plenty of room. Make sure there's nothing obstructing your path when you're getting up and down that's going to trip you, and make sure that as much as possible that you're on a smooth surface of some kind, preferably a hard, smooth surface like wooden flooring or vinyl tile. If you do not have a choice and you're on carpet, preferably a low pile carpet, something that's easy for you to move on, that's not got a real thick padding or has lumps or ridges in it or anything like that. I also want to remind everyone not to overdo anything. If anything hurts when you do it, back off. Don't do it. Only exercise within the limits of your ability. Don't exercise to the point of pain or the point of exhaustion. I do want people to challenge themselves and in a positive way, but please, please, please do not injure yourself. Nothing should hurt. And if you need a break, take it, even if we're not taking a break as a class. I do want to remind everyone that we will be taking a break after about 2/3 of the way through. Remember to pause your device so that when you return from your water and rest break for about 5, maybe 10 minutes, that you're ready to start up again. Reminding everyone, of course, that all of these dances can be done solo. I will give you options for dancing with a partner if you do have someone, a care partner that you're sheltering in place with. That's great. It is fun to have someone, but for myself, I can have fun dancing by myself, but it is always more fun if we have someone we can dance with. So I encourage that if that's possible for you. If you find that we're going too fast and you need to do the movements slower, please feel free to go half time. That works just as well. Challenge yourself if you can to keep up with the full time. If that's just not working for you, back off. That's fine. And just there will not be any props for this class, so you don't need any additional props besides your body and your attention, and we're ready to get started. Oh, and one more thing I didn't forget on my last video, to thank Steve for all of his work in helping me produce these videos. He does all of the editing, camera work. He sets up the camera for me, and this, helps me with setting up the sound so that it is at an appropriate level. And it's been a tremendous help. He has done a great job, and I really, really appreciate all of his patience and assistance in producing these videos. He's done a wonderful job. Okay, so we're going to get started, and that took a while. Okay, sorry about that. We're going to get our feet underneath our knees and really get into it now. We're going to reach back with a deep inhale, looking up and pressing down. Let it go. Release all that air through your mouth. Deep inhale and just release it all. Let all that stress out. Inhale. And now a deep belly laugh coming down. And inhale. And a deep belly laugh. And inhale. And one more deep belly laugh. Push it out, push it out. And then inhale, and let's get really mean now, people. Inhale. And your little cat. Ooh. Inhale. And now a deep belly laugh. Let it go. Push it out. Make it loud as you can. Don't worry about the neighbors. Inhale. And then just a big exhale with a sigh. All right. Just feels good to get everything aerated. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get us started on our sun salutation. With a deep inhale, bring those arms out and up, pressing those hands together. Exhale towards your heart. And deep inhale, looking up. Exhale and open. Inhale, palms pressed together. Exhale past your heart and down to that warm pool of water on the floor. Peel one arm up with a deep inhale. Open and shake off some of that water. Exhale, coming down to your hands. Other arm up, peel it up. Inhale, shake it off, say hello. Exhale, coming down. Land with your elbows on your lap. One arm up. Shake a little more off. In hello. Exhale. Inhale, shake it off. Exhale, land with your elbows on your lap. Deep inhale as you curve your spine, looking up at the sky. Exhale as you reverse the curve, sitting very tall and long, with a big V with your feet. Let's point, flex, point, flex, point, and slide down with an exhale. Shake your head, no. And nod, yes. Come up, with your feet underneath your knees. Give a big hug, exhale, and come around. Inhale, and exhale to your heart. Nice job. Let's look at the back of one hand. Bring it all the way across our chest. We're waking up on a beautiful spring morning, which it is today.
There's a bright golden haze on the meadow.
Other side.
There's a bright golden haze on the meadow.
Now push those
The
hands
corn
up.
is as high as
And
high
open.
as the sky.
Scoot it up.
statue.
And the other way. Hold on with the right hand, left leg, and left arm. Roll in and roll out. And in and out and open up wide. Waving breeze. Expanding. Greet your partner. Say hello to your partner. That left hand, let's roll over a bit again, and unroll, and roll, and unroll. Hold on with the right hand, left leg and left arm, roll it, and unroll, and roll, and unroll, and open as wide as you can, expand. And she's still kind of cranky, so we're going to pick her up, rock her back to sleep, and put her down very gently. Don't wake her up. Okay. Well, that's telling us we're getting ready for our upper body warm-up. Okay, we're ready for our upper body warm-up now. We will be doing our upper body warm-up to two New Orleans influenced classic rock and roll pieces from the early era of rock and roll. The first one will be Kansas City, sung by Wilbert Harrison, such a good song. It is a Jerry Liebert and Mike Stoller song. Liebert and Stoller were composers of songs who provided a lot of the great rock and roll hits of the time. We're going to be dancing to two of those today, and the next one will be a nice surprise for us, but they composed a lot of just great rock and roll classic songs, including Kansas City, which we are going to hear with more of a New Orleans kind of rolling piano accompaniment. And then followed that up with Blueberry Hill, which came out for Fats Domino. He produced that in 1956. He did not write that song, but his version of it is one of the best known one. It's actually was written in, I think, the 1940s, and a number of people, Louis Armstrong recorded it in the 1940s, and I think that the Glenn Miller Band also in the 1940s. But in any case, we'll do those two tunes, but before we get started, and I love both of them, we're going to fold our hands, we'll do our posture work. And let's get our hands just pressing into our belly and making us very tall and long all the way through our spine, from the tailbone all the way to the crown of our head, and lengthening the back of our neck with that chin tuck in and release. So we'll inhale as we pull it in and release with an exhale. Inhale. Release. Inhale, lengthen, and release. Inhale, release. Inhale, release. Inhale, and release. And inhale, and reach up. And you are going to ignore me for a second while I get our music back. As we inhale, looking up, exhale, tilting to one side. Inhale to the center, exhale, tilting the other way. Inhale to the center, and exhale, sliding down one chin. Inhale, lift that knee up, sitting tall and flex, point, flex, and circling around one way. the screen. Try not to touch it. Now I'm going to go to one side. And I'm reaching. Other side. Comes fats. I'm gonna push down. Let's swim. That big breaststroke. Take a big wide push through that water. Big wide strokes. Let's do the crawl. Still swimming through that water. Your form's better than mine. Let's press our palms together as we swim through the water like eels. Give you a hint about what we're going to be doing next. Blueberry Hill, such a great tune. The next song that we're going to be dancing to is the hand jive, which is going to be a mostly upper body dance, but we're going to do some work with our lower body just to give our upper body a break. And let me make sure I've got this. I put it on a little bit slower so we're not going crazy. I've got it at 90%, so not super slow. But, okay, here's another one where you're going to probably do better than I do at this. Do as I say, not as I do. I'm not the swiftest at hand jive, but we'll work our way through. I turned it down as much for myself as for everybody else. So the hand jive, which we've done before, so I should know how to do this by now, but we work on it. We're all a work in progress. So we're going to start out with the hand jive. It's slapping our thighs, so slap, slap, then clapping our hands, clap, clap. Now if you have a care partner with you, or any type of partner that you're sheltering in place with, just turn in your chair towards that partner, whichever side they're on, and when you do the slap, slap, you'll do clap, clap against their hands, which is just another option for you if you want to do it that way. But it's perfectly possible to have fun and mess it up all on your own, and messing it up is really a lot of the fun. So it'll be slap, slap, clap, clap, or clap, clap with your partner, then slide, slide, then thump, thump, and then hike, hike. So it'll be slap, slap, clap, clap, slide, slide, thump, thump, clap, hike, hike, slap, slap, clap, clap, slide, slide, thump, thump, hike, hike, and that's it. And then at the intro and at every other break when he starts singing hand jive, we'll just get our hands out and just kind of do some like push hands like this, but it would be tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, 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 or step, tap. We'll just kind of alternate it. I'll call it out. We'll figure it out. And that's pretty much it. I may or may not make it through this with you, so we'll all do the best we can. But we're going to start out with, there's a little bit of an instrumental intro that we'll start out with the tap and step. So that's tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, and tap, step, tap, step, and tap, step, and tap, 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 slide, 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 thump, thump, hike, hike,
He got
hike,
two little chicks named Rocky and Billy. He walking, strolling, Susie Q. And do that crazy hand jive too. Mama told us to run my home. You and that hand jive got to go. You better say, Mama, don't put me down. They're doing that hand jive all over town. Hand jive, hand jive, hand jive. Do that crazy hand jive. Mama, look at Uncle Joe. He's doing that hand jive with Sister Flo. When we made Sister Night, said do that hand jive one more time.
you got it.
Rockin' the light in the Jeep. Now they all get that crazy beat. We give 'em all a treat. Oh, when you did that hand jive with his feet. Hand jive,
Tap,
hand jive, hand
push those hands.
do that crazy hand jive. Hey, hey.
Tap, step, tap, tap.
We really got mad last fall. They had a little wedding at Daddy home. Well, they got things in the privacy. Doing the hand jive on TV. Hand jive, hand jive, hand jive.
Tap,
Doing that crazy hand jive. Hey, hey.
side, tap, side, tap, side, tap, side, tap, side. Woo! All right, good job. I bet you did a lot better than I did on that. It's fun, and half the fun is messing it up. So I had a lot of fun. Hope you did too. Okay, we're going to be standing up and working at the bar now. So make sure that you have your feet underneath your knees. If you need any assistance to come to stand, have your care partner assist you. Surprisingly tiring. We're going to reach up and exhale, nose over toes as we come to stand, reaching forward, and reach back for the back of our chair. Walk behind our chair, and actually, you don't need to do this, but I do. Put this up here, and we're going to walk behind our chair, and we're going to have our feet about hip width apart. Standing very tall behind our chairs. Let's go ahead and work on our posture just momentarily, folding our hands over our belly, really pushing that belly in and lengthening the back of our spine as we pull our chin in and relax. Inhale, still pressing on the belly, and let it
hips on the chair, and I'm having everyone look up at the sky for a moment, and I need to put it back to our regular program here. Looking up at the ceiling. Back, middle, front, middle, back, middle, front, middle, back, middle, front, middle, back, middle, front. Look over one shoulder, middle, other, middle, look, middle, look, middle, look, middle, look, middle, look, middle, look. Now ear down to one shoulder, middle, ear down, 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 middle, ear down. Push those shoulders down, middle, middle, down, middle, middle, down, middle, middle, down, up. Now one shoulder goes back, middle, forward, middle, elbow back, middle, forward, middle. Roll that elbow, making big circles. Other elbow goes back, middle, front, middle, back, middle, front, middle. Roll that elbow, make big circles with that elbow. Now rib cage comes forward, middle, back, middle, forward, middle, back, middle, forward, middle, back, middle, forward, middle, back, middle, side to the side, middle, side, middle, side, middle, side, middle, side, middle, side, middle. Bumps. Keep those knees nice and loose. Hip bumps. We'll need these when we're doing our Elvis. Hip bumps, hip bumps, hip bumps. And here's another Elvis helper. Make those hula hoop hips. How about the other way? Hula hoop the other way. Nice. Now lower legs go out. Middle, in, middle, out. Middle, in, middle, other out. Middle, in, middle, out. Middle, in. Nice. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm taking a little break now from the rock and roll and do just a little bit of 1950s country. Great 1950s country. Let's get our feet about hip width apart, toes pointed out. We're going to do a tune by Patsy Cline from 1957, Walking After Midnight by Patsy Cline. Just a great hit for Patsy Cline and so much fun. It's fun to dance to, but it's a really kind of a sad tune. But it's sad and I guess in sort of a kind of a tough way. That, you know, sad, but I'm gonna keep going. Anyway, it's we'll before we do get started with our plie series, let's just remind ourselves to get our feet about hip width apart, the heels about hip width apart with the toes pointed out. I'm going to watch and make sure that I've got my knees tracking over my toes as I come down into my demi-plie. And when I come down, I want to make sure that I'm keeping my trunk centered to the center of the chair, keeping it very long and erect, very nice tall posture through our spine, and make sure that we're not tilting to one way or the other, but also lowering the pelvis down and up. So just lowering our bottom down, raising it up, and then when we come up into our releve, make sure that we're still keeping ourselves centered and tall as we do 2 releves. We will take one break for port de bras, reaching back and scooping up 3 times on each side. And it's a pretty short song, so we should just do fine with that. Okay, if I can get our music back. Being uncooperative today. Oops, that's not what I want. There we go. Sorry. Patsy Cline, Walking After Midnight. First plie.
and up.
moonlight,
And again.
just like we used to do.
First
I'm
side.
always walking
Second
after
side.
midnight,
Up we
searching
go.
for you.
And again. First side.
I walk for miles
Second hand.
along the highway.
And up.
Well, that's just my
And
way
again.
of saying I love you. I'm
First
always
hand.
walking
Second hand.
after midnight,
And up.
searching for you.
Okay, reach back for that quarter bra, one side. Screw
I
the bit.
stop to see your weeping
We'll do three.
willow, crying
Two.
from his pillow.
Three.
Maybe he's crying for me.
Other side, reaching back. Way back. Big scoop. Second. Number three. Back to our pliés. And second side.
Out in the starlight, just hoping maybe somewhere a walking after midnight, searching for me. I stopped to see a weeping willow, crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me.
Second side.
And as the skies turn gloomy,
Up we
the
go.
night winds whisper to me, I'm lonesome
Hold it for a moment.
as I can be. I go out walking
Plie.
after midnight, out in the starlight.
And again.
Just hoping maybe somewhere a walking
Second side.
after midnight,
Up we go.
searching for me.
All right. Nice. Okay. Whoop. Beat me to the punch there. All right. So that was Walking After Midnight. A little bit of a change of mood here, as we often have. And we're going to turn our chair to the side and stand so you're still facing your device, facing me, with one hip next to it. I am going to switch to our Slow It Down app real quick for our next music and make sure I've got this right. Okay, and our next tune will be Jailhouse Rock, which is another Leiber and Stoller tune, which was a big hit for Elvis Presley in 1957, I believe it was. And we're going to do it a little bit slower at 90% again, just to make it a little bit more doable for us. Let me go ahead and I'm going to give myself a cheat sheet because I did pretty much choreograph this for us. So it's a little more choreographed than most of our bar work usually is. This is actually kind of more of a dance than just an exercise. So we're going to start standing at our bar and make sure that we've got our, I'll move into my mark here. Yeah, I don't think I'm on my mark. We're going to start with our Elvis Presley posture. Now Elvis usually did have a fairly wide stance like this when he was performing or dancing. He was a really terrific natural dancer, but he had some very specific moves that will look familiar to a lot of us. I did spend quite a bit of time watching Elvis Presley footage from his earlier part of his career and seeing what some of his moves were. And I hope I caught some of them anyway for you, and we'll see how well we do being Elvis. So he did have slightly pigeon-toed stance with the toes pointed in. If that is not comfortable for you, just feet straight ahead, but not pointed out. So either forward, or if you can get a little pigeon-toed and that's not hurting your knees, that's fine too. But do have a nice wide stance. Knees will be loose, so keep your knees nice and loose because we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with the knees as well as, of course, with the pelvis. And we did get some practice earlier with our jazz isolations, which will help us with this. With his posture, he did keep his body fairly upright above the hips. So a lot, he wasn't slumped over. A lot of very upright
posture with the upper body, not very loose, but upright. The weight was forward. So a lot of his weight was on the balls of his feet. So if you can kind of just bounce on the balls of your feet a little bit, so you get a feeling for, getting that weight forward onto the balls of your feet, because we're going to be doing a lot of work on the balls of our feet as we do Elvis. So we're going to be doing Jailhouse Rock, which I assume a lot of you are familiar with. If you recall from the recording, it starts out with 2 big guitar hits. So just kind of rest your hand here while you hold your guitar, your air guitar. Just rest it on the surface of the the back of your chair. And you're going to do 2 big guitar hits. So it'll be boom, 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 boom. And then it goes right into the first verse. So holding onto your chair. He did these sort of bicycle legs. So it'll be ba da ba da ba da ba 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 da ba da ba 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 ba. Okay, and then we're going to do some hip bumps with that. So you're going to point one hand out, and we'll do bum ba bum ba bum ba 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 bum ba bum ba bum ba bum 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 bum. And what he did with his hip bumps often was look towards the side of the hip bump. If that is comfortable for you and it doesn't hurt your neck or make you dizzy, go ahead and do that. If it's not comfortable or makes you a little dizzy, just look one way or look forward. Look forward, or just boop 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 boop, or bump 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 bump. Okay, and then it's Let's Rock. Now, every time we hear Let's Rock, you're going to knock your knees in. So this is where we're really working on the ball of our foot, and we're going to knock our knees in 4 times, and as we descend a little bit. So keeping both knees nice and loose. So bump ba bump. It's Let's Rock, and then back up, ba bum ba bum. Let's rock, and then the other side. Everybody on the old cell block was dancing. Get that pelvis in. Da, 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 da. You gotta get those hips in. Okay. And going up and down. And that's every time we do Let's Rock, we're going to do that move. The next move that we're going to do with the next verse is called, we're calling a hip slide, and it's another classic Elvis move. So it's choo 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 back in. Boop 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 boop. Okay. So slide out, slide in. And then he did windmill arms. So we're going to take one arm. So make sure you got plenty of room. You're not going to hit anyone or anything. It's he did about 8 of these. Ja-da-dum, da-da-da-da, ba-da-ba-da, ba-bum-bum, pull down. He did that. And then Let's Rock. Back to Let's Rock. Knocking that knee in. Da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. Let's rock. Back up. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. Other side. Everybody on the whole old cell block was dancing to the Jailhouse Rock. And we're going to repeat those same moves again with the bicycle legs, the hip bumps, and the knock knees going up and down. Then there will be a short instrumental where we're going to do a classic Elvis shimmy or shake. Make sure that you have a nice wide base of support as much as possible with the toes pointed in or straight forward. We're going to do that shimmy or shake that he did. I have no idea how much this looks like Elvis, but I'm doing my best here. Do our little shimmy and shake, and back to our hip slides, windmill, and then the knock knees, then the bicycle steps, then the hip bumps, and with Let's Rock, back up and down, and at the very end, back with our air guitars, boop 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 boop, da 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 da. Okay. So anyway, so remembering when we start at the beginning, we're gonna have our hand resting here, holding our air guitar. Excuse me, and then move the hand to holding on as we do our Elvis moves, starting with bicycle legs, and then our hip bumps. Okay. So with your air guitar. Ready? Bicycle legs.
Walking through a party in the county jail. The prison man was there, they were getting away.
Hip bumps.
Man was jumping and the drum began to swing. We should have heard the knockdown jailbird sing.
Let's rock on. And up. And knock knee musicalize. Back in. And windmill arms. Get those hips going. And pull. And knock knee. Coming in. And up. Other side. And up we go. Bicycle legs. Hip bumps. Knock knees. And up. Other side. And shimmy. Hip slides. Other side. Windmill. Keep those hips going. And pull. Up. Knock knee in. Down. And up we go. Bicycle legs. Hip bumps. And up. Other side. Back with our air guitar. Woo! Fancy dancing. Okay. Nice job, everyone. All righty. Woo. I'll be real curious to see how that all comes out when I see it on video. I don't have a mirror that I work in front of, so I'll be real curious to see if that looks anything like Elvis, but I did my best. So have fun with that, and hope you enjoyed it. It's tiring. He worked his little tail off when he did those performances. So it's time for us to take a little break. We're going to go get some water, take a little rest, 5-10 minutes, and put your whatever your device is on pause, and we'll be back in a few. Have a good one. Take care.
Well, welcome back. Hope you had a nice little break, got some water, rested up a little bit. I am back, as you may have remembered or may have noticed. I'm back with my chair facing forward. See, Inky? And we're going to be doing our last seated dance with the chair, of course, facing forward. The dance will be to the Chuck Berry tune, Johnny B. Good, great classic from 1958 that Chuck Berry wrote and performed, but has been covered by so many people, terrific rock and roll tune. So we're going to do some Chuck Berry moves, and I did spend some time watching Chuck Berry perform. And I do have this turned down to 90%, so it's just a little bit slower than the original recording, but not much. So I'm going to put my cheat sheet here so I can keep track of what I'm doing, because my memory, not great always. We'll start out, now Chuck Berry was a really great guitarist and really innovative and imitated and admired and influenced so many people, including the Beatles and so many of the rock and roll bands that followed in the 1960s. So we're going to do some guitar, some fancy guitar work. And we'll start out just holding our air guitar, and there's going to be a short guitar riff, about 1.5 8 counts. So we're gonna just get that, get grooving with our guitars, with our air guitars, show off some of our fancy licks on our air guitars, and then we will start in with some nice little jitterbug steps, which we know from our swing dance activities back in the 40s, and that'll be a rock, step, 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 rock, step, 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 other leg, rock, step, 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 and rock, step, step, step. Nice and slow and easy like that. We're doing it kind of half time. Then we're going to start in with our Chuck Berry moves. He did knock knees also. We're going to do them first on, he kind of tended to do it like this a lot. Almost did that too, but let's go ahead and do just one leg in, 2, 3, 4, other, 1, 2, 3, 4, repeat, 1, 2, 3, 4, other, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to go to some alternating stamps with our legs. So it's da 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 da, and then alternate da 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 da, and in, 2, 3, 4, and then go Johnny go. Now every time we hear that refrain, that go Johnny go, we're going to do the famous Chuck Berry duck walk to the best of our ability in seated. Now his posture, he did a lot of leaning forward because he was holding his guitar like this. So he's leaning forward and he's walking, and we'll go ahead and do just the ball heel, which is what pretty much he was doing. Ball heel, ball heel, ball heel. And we're going to go 2 steps forward with the ball heel, and 2 steps back with the right and then the left leg. And then we're going to do the, but as we do it, let's see if we can do his neck movements. Now he did forward and back. Well, let's not do that because it's kind of hard on our necks. So let's just do the pull in that we've been doing, because that's actually good for our necks. Pulling in and back as we kind of move our neck back and forth. So it'll just be more pull rather than forward, jutting it out. So we'll do that forward and back, duck walk with the neck movements. You want to practice that? We'll do that forward, forward, pull, 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 and back, pull, 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 and forward, pull, 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 and back, pull, 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 and then it's Johnny Be Good. So let's slide those legs out as wide as you can and slide them in. Okay, so we'll split there. Then we're going to do some new moves for the next verse. We'll slide, he did a lot of this, sliding the foot out and tap across. We'll slide forward, tap, 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 slide back, forward, tap, 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 other slide, tap, 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 and slide, tap, tap, tap. And then we'll back to our duck walk and continue on. There will be an instrumental, and we'll do some more splits there. So we're going to go out and then a little shake, a little shimmy, and then forward, in, shimmy, and then jump stamps. And he did a lot of jumping. So to one side would be stamp, 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 and stamp, 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 and first, stamp, 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 still playing our guitar. Stamp, 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 okay. And then we're going to do some real show-offy stuff on our guitar. So we're going to lean back and lift one leg up and do some crazy stuff on the guitar, and lean back with the other leg and do some crazy stuff on the guitar. And first leg, crazy, go nuts, and go nuts. And there's our instrumental break. Then back to the knock knees, 1, 2, 3, 4, and down, 2, 3, 4, back, 1, 2, 3, 4, and other, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, scaring the cat. And then with our duck walk, in and out, side splits out, side splits in, last one, side split out, side split in. We're done. Okay. So, Johnny Be Good. Let's see how we do keeping up with this. Remember that we start out with just our air guitar doing some crazy licks, and then go to our rock step, 2 on one side, 2 on the other side, and then with our knock knees. Again, walking forward, tall. Pull that head. Back. Forward. Back. Split it out. And in you go. Slide it back. And slide. Tap, tap, tap. And slide. Tap, tap, tap. Other slide. Tap, tap, tap. And 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 all yellow. Back. Forward. Back. Slide it out. And in we go. Instrumental. Slide out with a shake. And in with a shake. And jump. Stamp. Stamp. Stamp to the other. Stamp. 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 First side. Stamp. 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 And other. Stamp. 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 Crazy guitar stuff. Kick it up. And other side. Kick it up. Go crazy. Woo! First side. And now the other side. Go nuts. Woo! Making the cat crazy. Woo! Knock knees. Other side. First side. Other side. And stamp, 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 stamp back in. Stamp, 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 and forward. Pull that head. Back. And forward. And back. Slide it out. And in. And out. And in. Woo! Oh, we still got our guitars. Better put that one aside before I break it. Woo! We're relocating to where we started, William Hand Jive. Woo! Good job, everyone. Okay, well, I'll get that out of my way. Try not to scare the cat anymore. And we're moving to our cool down, so I am going to put it back to our regular app. We've got two lovely, a little bit slower tunes from the rock and roll era. Buddy Holly's Every Day from 1957. And just a lovely, sweet love song. And after that, the Everly Brothers, All I Have to Do Is Dream from 1958. And just another very beautiful, sweet song. And those brother harmonies are just so beautiful. Love them. Okay, so we will start with our feet underneath our knees, and we're gonna fold our hands. Let me see if I can find where we start here. Folding our hands. Inhale, like looking up at the back of our heads. Exhaling, tilting to one side. Oh, that feels good. Inhale. Exhale, tilting the other way. Inhale to the center. And exhale, sliding down one shin. Inhale, lifting that knee, sitting tall with a flex. Point. Flex. Point. Flex. Point. Flex. And circle all the way around.
Every day seems a little longer.
And the other way.
Love's a little stronger.
Exhale, gently placing that foot down. Inhale, reaching up, looking at the back of your hands. Exhale, tilting one side. Inhale to the center. Exhale the other way. Inhale to the center. And exhale, sliding down the other shin. Inhale, sitting tall, lifting that knee with a flex. Point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. And circle it all the way, one way. And back the other way. Exhale, gently placing that foot down. Inhale, reaching up with one hand and the other. Opening up that rib cage on either side. Let's lift one knee up over the opposite knee or up behind the opposite ankle. Reaching up and exhale, releasing over that standing leg as far as is comfortable. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, letting go over that standing leg. Inhale and exhale, placing that foot down, switching legs. Inhale and exhale. Letting go, stand over that standing leg. As far as is comfortable for you. Inhale. Dream, 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 dream. Over that standing leg. Reaching forward as we exhale, nose over toes, come to standing, reach behind for our chair. Walk behind the chair, standing tall behind the chair, feet about hip width apart. One foot forward with the knee bent, the other foot about hip width apart, the extended, same side arm as that extended leg. Expand. So beautiful. Well, we've come to the end of our class today, and I'm so glad you are dancing with me today, and I look forward to the time when we can all be together again. But until then, I wish you all health and happiness, and I hope you keep dancing. It's so important to keep our spirits up and keep our bodies healthy, keep us